Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody doing today? We are going to start the stream in a couple minutes. We are having a fucking time today because McDonald's is being a bitch. We got some nuggets for lunch and they didn't give us all the nuggets. So Jania's going back to basically yell at them until they give us more nuggets. Not yell at them, but like, we waited for like half an hour for our food. They denied us nuggets! And like, Jania bought the fucking nuggets. So like, yeah, we deserve our nuggets. I'm currently eating the fried that they did remember to give us. But, yeah. Need my nugs. Or Jania needs her nugs. Whoever's nugs got poached. So yeah. Oh, it keeps cutting out. Fuck. Is it your internet or mine? How are you all doing today? How is the... Okay, might be your internet, fuck. We got Cricket and Panther here. Thank you for showing up. Repping the Broadway Stuck people. By the way, for anyone watching who isn't aware, Broadway Stuck is going to be performing in California next summer. So y'all should come on out. Oh, fuck, you're sick? Oh, shit. Oh, right, you work at Spirit Halloween, don't you, Ari? Do you get to take home any of the unpurchased Halloween decorations? I'm assuming the answer is no. Ooh, everything's half off. Nice, 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 nice. Ah, probably should have waited, till the day after Halloween to get spiderweb fishnets then. I went and bought Vriska-related things because I must. But I didn't do anything for Halloween this year. So I didn't really have a reason to buy Halloween things. 80%, goddamn. I should probably stick the link in other servers. I should stick it in the East Coast Homestuck server. Unless Janiah already did. Okay, Janiah already did. She does everything because she's amazing and is the best girlfriend in the world. I love her so much. I'm gonna love her forever. What other servers am I in that Janiah's not? I'll stick it in Texas collab server. And if it's damaged, that's another couple numbers. Nice, 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 nice. Damn. Well, come back and watch if we're still on in a couple hours, which, I mean, I think we will be. Janiah's like, oh no, this isn't gonna take more than 3 hours. I think it's gonna take like 4 or 5, because it always takes 4 or 5. But, yeah. Come back if you got the time. Oh, fuck. Something's up with our end of the stream, I think. Fuck. Thank you for showing up. So we got a handful of viewers. So I haven't actually played through this route before. This is one of the routes that I haven't had anything to do with. I didn't write any of the music, I didn't do any of the writing, I didn't do any of the voicing. I know what happens because Janaya tells me everything, but I've never played it. I don't know exactly what's gonna happen. And this is the route with Kira Buckland in it. We got a famous anime VA to play Trissa, so... Well, second famous anime VA in this cast, because we already had Casey as Tagiri. Did Janaya already... Oh, no. Yeah, Janaya has, connections. Many a connection. So we got Casey and Kira as VAs on this project. Of course, we have actual, like, Homestuck collaborators on the project. James Roach and Kim and all that. But yeah, I think Casey and Kira are the biggest names that we have on this game. Not that having actual Homestuck collaborators is that big a deal for Janaya anymore, because she is now one of the Homestuck collaborators. She is, I often call her the Queen of Homestuck, because she's the most powerful woman in Homestuck right now. And if she's the Queen of Homestuck, that makes me her Queen Consort. Yeah, so we're gonna, after this volume, we only have one more volume to go and get them Consort Perks Pro. Oh my god. Yeah, there's only one more volume to go. We have been working on this game since 2021. It was actually about, like, it was like February of 2021. Janaya was like, hey, Anna, wanna make Friendsim 2 with me? In a server that we were in, because, you know, Act 2 of Hive Swap had recently come out. We were enjoying the boost in the fandom, but also, you know, kind of disappointed with where it went. Wondering when there'd be an Act 3, etc., etc. And yeah, Janaya was like, wanna make a Friendsim 2 with me? And I was like, fuck yes. Actually, the first thing I said was, yes, but you have to let me write Tizius. And of course, I did write Tizius's route. Yeah, it was 2021. It was before I moved to the city. And then by 4/13 of 2021, we had, like, officially announced it. We had, like, you know, put out some, teasers for a couple months. But, yeah. By 4/13, we'd announced it. By SawCon, which SawCon that year was early. It was in June that year. I did Times Apprentice that year, and, fuck, that was the earliest SawCon ever was. By SawCon, we had the auditions out. We spent all summer judging auditions, 300 auditions. And then, yeah, the first route came out 4/13 of 2022. And we're aiming for 4/13 of 2025. No promises, but we are aiming for 4/13 for the ending. So that's going to be a 4-year journey. We have been working on this game for fucking ever. Oh, it was a lot of audio files. It was a fucking riot. A lot of those auditions were, they were interesting. I mean, we had a ton of very, very talented voice actors, and then we had a lot of people who never recorded in their lives, which, you know, you gotta learn somewhere. You gotta get started somewhere. But, I mean, everyone in the chat has done plenty of recording. You know as well as I do that you can't record next to an air conditioner and expect to get the audition. So, yeah, we did a lot of sorting through audio quality. Like, we had 300 audio files to scour through, but we threw out a bunch of them because of audio quality. And that's no shade to the people who auditioned, because, like, yeah, it's a skill you got to build up. But yeah, no, you're to any. I know there's only 2 people watching right now, but if anybody watches back and wants to know how to get accepted places when you audition, audio quality is the number one thing that will get you thrown out. But yeah, no. That was... God damn. And then, of course, right after we sorted through all the auditions, a couple months later, Janaya asked me out, and it's been 3 years for us. Yeah. Oh. Speak of the Queen of Homestuck herself, she has returned from McDonald's.
Hi. Here is yours.
I was, aw, you're giving me the warm one?
Yeah.
I love you!
What? Mute it.
Ooh. Hold on one
Oh,
second.
She's so cute.
Past where I want to aim.
Oh, that's not even the highest sensitivity.
I can't handle that kind of sensitivity.
Naomi wants it. Naomi has a 16,000 DPI.
Small Smart Kitty says, Queen of Nuggies and Homestuck.
Hi.
That's what you are.
I want to share with everyone a theory I have about our local McDonald's. So our McDonald's has been replaced with the branding where it looks like a generic video game store.
It just says crispy fries on the wall.
and when I went back to the McDonald's, they must have had a shift change or something because it was like all different employees and there were more people working there, which is good. But it's like the experience in an old like Grand Theft Auto game where you turn around and like a different group of NPCs has spawned. The store employees are all different.
I was talking about the 4-year journey that has been Friendsim 2.
Yeah. Well, it hasn't quite been 4 years
Okay,
yet.
but in February it will be 4 years.
It will be 4 years in February. That's definitely true. Oh my god.
Everything okay?
Yeah, I just sweaty.
Oh yeah. Did you like run to the McDonald's?
Ha, run, that's funny. No, I walked briskly. Bold of you to assume that I have any ability to
This
run.
doesn't fit.
What doesn't fit? Oh, where's the other ones?
What?
You should have some for your headphone thing. Where are the others?
Let's see if I can find it. Well, I mean, these were your headphones. I don't think I have.
Well, those are for the DT 900s. Or whatever, 990s, whatever the heck. The ones Naomi's using. So I thought they were the same, but they're not.
I have... This should work.
Yeah, they're usually the same, but for some reason that one's different.
Do you have a container of the good sauce?
Yeah, I gave it to you. Oh, you didn't get it? Yeah, here.
Danke.
I hope everyone likes the experience of us just, like, eating.
We only have 2 viewers right now.
Okay, that tracks. I'm gonna pull up the thing for chat and mute it.
Yeah.
Give me a minute here.
The good sauce. Yeah, the good sauce is not McDonald's sauce. It's Sweet Baby Ray's.
Oh, I could use our Studio June Games channel. I actually got a pretty good number of people. Yeah,
instead of my channel.
No, as the comment channel.
Oh.
Yeah, I meant for like commenting on stuff whenever YouTube decides to load because it's being very slow right now. We got to see the incredibly bizarre recommendations.
Can I have the thing?
The stool?
Yeah.
Of course. Give me a second, because I gotta figure out how to do this without messing up the headphones.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The weird splitter that reverses the polarity on the headphones for some reason.
I mean, I'm used to that.
I just can't find any like documentation on why that does that. Oh wait, hold on, don't move anything here. I gotta untangle that keyboard.
Okay.
Alright, there you go. Yeah, it's just like does it for some reason.
Boop.
Alright, I'm gonna
Alright.
We're not starting yet. I need to like get settled here.
Okay. Well. You plug this in?
Yes, it's down here.
Hmm.
Somewhere it is. There it is.
It's our
Goddamn
setup.
ad.
The ads are good. It means I get money.
Yeah, and like almost none.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
you
every
guys get a
ad
drink. Here.
is a little bit of money.
You want a straw?
Sure.
I still think that it's materially insignificant. Like, to the point of absurdity, almost.
I mean, yeah, but it adds up.
These fries are gonna suck. I should have taken these with me. Also, they didn't give us any napkins. That's cool.
This is the McDonald's from hell.
No, it's not the one at McDonald's. That was the one by your old place.
Oh, yeah, that was the
really
McDonald's
old
from hell.
place. They were the worst.
They closed at like 7.
Plus, they started doing like, you could only pick up food on like the side of the
Yeah.
McDonald's.
And you had to order through the app, and I don't like
They just
ordering
have
things
a
on my
bunch of
phone.
people like standing out there, just waiting around
Mm-hmm.
in the cold or the hot. Yeah, I don't know. How much did you tell them about our journey to get to this point?
Well, I was talking. Are we on? Yeah, we're still live.
We're live.
Or making noise. Oh,
Yeah.
we got a couple more viewers. Well, I was just talking about our, how we got started, how you were like, hey, Anna, want to make Friendsim 2 with me?
Mm-hmm.
And then also how we judged all those auditions, and then you fell in love with me.
That's a more or less accurate, although somewhat abbreviated summary of how things happened. Yeah, this volume was done maybe 2 years ago, I think.
But you had the idea for it from the beginning.
Well, yeah, but like the specifics of it. Because like there's some stuff in here that wasn't originally planned, but then
Small Smart Kitty just says gay.
yeah, yeah. But I had this conversation with a friend of ours named Mio, who does a lot of mean cree art.
I'm sure you've all seen their mean
Yeah.
cree out in the wild.
The marinara impasta on Twitter, and I think on Blue Sky as well.
Wait, marinara I am pasta? It's impasta, like an imposter.
Oh, impasta. I'm sorry. I thought it was I am. I am pasta.
Nah, marinara impasta. Like an imposter, but pasta.
That's clever. I never picked up on that. We had a conversation about Mina and their thoughts on like Mina's reaction to how like the whole idea of the system of the heiress and the empire and how that works and like how someone would feel being in that situation, and that like changed the whole direction of like how I was going to write Trizza in a way which, if you've played the volume, you know what I mean. If you haven't, you'll find out in a few minutes. Either we're both eating, so I can't just be like, you narrate while I eat.
We are both enjoying our nugs.
Mine are not the best, but that's okay.
You could have taken the hot ones.
I didn't think about that.
Though it's very sweet of you that you gave me the good nugs.
Why wouldn't I?
I don't know. I love you a lot.
I love you too.
You're my favorite. This is the... We're sitting in the positions that we do when we play TTRPGs.
Mm-hmm.
Huddled around the mic. Me sitting on a footstool.
These fries suck ass. Oh, these are good when they were hot.
Oh, yeah, I already ate the fries. In this position, I feel like you're gonna do the sobby voice, and I'm gonna start.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna start making some fucked up story that involves guns.
I feel like our audience needs context for this too.
Yeah, we're actually, if any of you are interested in TTRPG Real Play podcasts or the Avatar: The Last Airbender universe, we're going to be probably in the near future releasing a TTRPG podcast on our Avatar Legends campaign.
Yeah. So we are playing in the core timeline, although we at my insistence added like 1890s, early 1900s era firearms to the setting, which has turned out to be a stunningly relevant element of the plot.
Yep. Yeah.
Including a major driver of like a lot of the stuff in the first season.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, look out for that if you're
You guys
interested
should
in the,
like definitely listen to it because it's good.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot of fun to play. Anna's a really good DM. We did some guest episodes where all the players are taking turns DMing, although you won't hear those for a while.
They take a long time to edit,
Mm-hmm.
like weeks to edit each episode.
Yeah.
Because we're taking down like 4 hours worth of 4 hours worth of gameplay into like an hour and a half of listenable
4
content.
hours of gameplay, us figuring out rules, us bullshitting with each other, going to like check on my kids.
Well, actually, if you do
Tea
want to hear
breaks.
me as a DM right now, the first 3 episodes are available as rough cuts on my Patreon for free.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't realize you had them as free posts.
Oh yeah, they're free content.
Mm. How close are you to being done to be?
I have 2 more nugs.
Alright. Probably have you start narrating.
Okay.
Because I'm not close to being done eating. Yeah, Volume 13's been in the works for a while. It's our second to last volume. The last volume will be coming out. Did I ever announce when it's coming out? I don't think I technically announced it yet.
Well, I did sort of hint at it.
I'll say it now because it's gonna be in the Sock-On trailer for New Year's stuff. The next volume will be coming out 4/13. Like there's very little stuff left to do, and it will happen in the next 6 months. That's not a short amount of time.
I gotta write a song.
Potentially. Still gotta think about that.
I still want to write that Trixie song.
But like, yeah. So yeah, you get to see how everything finishes next year.
Do you have an easy link to click on right here in chat? Oh yeah. Let me send that. Actually, can I send links?
Maybe.
Patreon.
So I'm gonna start the game just so I can get it set up.
Yes, so you can see the thing, and maybe people will stick around because they see the thing.
Well, also so I can like organize it.
Oh, now that it's November, I can get my monthly Patreon money.
Yay! All right, yeah. I'm gonna switch over. I'm gonna put the game. Oh, I gotta update.
I mean, the easy link is just go to the description and click on my Patreon in the description. But
I'm updating the game here.
you can
Patching the game
also take
here.
a look at this one. Oh, hello! It's Vincere Angelos. It has been too long since the last.
Timing is super
Friendsim.
good because I'm about to start this thing. I'm just getting it up on the screen and arranging everything so I can see it.
Who did the art for the poster?
This is Ham. Or, Hamadano. Or Ham. I don't know. I just called him Ham. Let me find their Twitter. Thanks, Twitter, for refreshing randomly. What the hell? I don't know. They're in the credits. I'll grab them in a second. I'm gonna turn the volume down for us. Credits. No one else can hear the music, but we can. Ham. Hatamanu on Twitter. That's HATAMONO and MONU. They do a lot of like Homestuck fan art. They also did the poster art. There we go.
We should probably switch over so they can see the images.
Mm-hmm. I'll do that. I gotta get the window capture working. That's why I didn't do that yet. Game capture. Specifically, I need to extend it.
Of course.
I think that's... Is that... Yeah. What is going on here? What is up with the fucking window size? That's stupid. I hate it.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. Let me... Alright.
Alright.
We're gonna get started in a second.
Well, I finished my nugs.
You're gonna start narrating.
Yeah.
Oh, since this does actually have gameplay elements, should we do it on the hard mode?
Are you feeling up to that?
Yeah, no, it's just the one mini game and the quick time events. Plus, there's like death sequences. We want to see. We got to get the game's bad ending and everything.
True.
Well, the game's bad ending is just a choice. All right, let's do this thing. I want to read the game's bad ending, so. Ready?
Yeah. Hold on one sec. We got 4 viewers now. Is everyone ready for some Tower at the End of the World?
All right, let's do this thing. I'm going to put the chat up so I can see it while I play. There we go. Perfect.
Zebedee keeps adjusting things in a way that feels distinctly nervous to you. Wait.
Okay, good. I wanted to make sure... Wait, this can't be heard.
Oh, shit. Oh.
Because it's dumb, and it decided to change my default settings.
Oh, that sucks.
Wait, can I hear it? Is it just very low?
I mean...
I don't see...
It can't hear it. You guys can't hear any music, can you?
Oh, that's why, because it has 2 audio sources for some dumb reason. There we go.
Alright, there we are.
Now you can hear it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Alright. Zebedee keeps adjusting things in a way that feels distinctly nervous to you. Not that he doesn't know what he's doing, but there's something so uncomfortable about it all. Part of you doesn't even want to say anything. Part of you is so burned out on everything that you just want to not feel anything anymore. But the other, bigger part of you can't do that. The part of you that cares so much about the people around you. So, is he doing okay?
Well, that's a heck of a question, isn't it? I've never been right up to a high blood ship before, you know?
He thought he'd been flying for the rebels for a bit.
Well, sure, but that's mostly transport runs. I know, I seem like I've got it all together, but I'm really very nervous.
You tactfully refrain from commenting on exactly how together he actually seems to have it, because honestly, what's the point?
Just before we continue, I want to point out that this volume has a couple of like important VAs, like major VAs. One of them is Kira Buckland, but the VA for Zebedee is Senna Breyer, and she actually like since agreeing to work for the game originally has had like a bunch of big roles. Like she's that character whose name I don't know, but she's in Final Fantasy, whatever the hell the current one is.
Good for her.
Yeah, she's been doing pretty good.
I mean, we have a good handful of VAs who are like legit.
And she did a really awesome job as Zebedee. Like, very, very cool stuff.
Also, random piece of trivia. This was actually the role that Casey was originally going to do.
Oh, Casey. Right. Wait, Casey was when did Casey get switched to Gary?
Before any of that was announced.
Right, because we were gonna be like, oh, the fancy people get bit parts, and then like.
Then I was like, nah, why bother? Yeah, I approached them about doing Zebedee, and then they switched it over. Also, I'm gonna be done in a minute. I don't think I'm gonna eat these fries. They're not very good.
Sad fries. You know it must have been hard, making such a big change and ending up helping the rebels in the way he did. Zebedee shrugs.
Well, sure, but the rebels are good people. Who knows what would have happened to me if I'd gone off-world in the Empire? Probably I'd just be some throwaway tech somewhere. Can you imagine?
He gives a short, genuine laugh. Unfortunately, yeah, you can imagine that pretty strongly. It's not a pleasant thought, but it's right there. You've seen what happens to your friends who went off-world, and it's pretty universally unpleasant. You're glad that didn't happen to him.
Well, thanks. That means a lot to...
He trails off, and the nervous adjustments become more frantic as Zebedee furrows his brow and shakes his head.
Hold on, let me know.
Is there a button up there that...
Yeah,
It made some mic without having to switch over.
That's so convenient!
it is convenient.
Okay, is he gonna tell you what's wrong?
Nothing to worry about. That clown just told me I've got to go in real fast, and I'm worried the ship might come apart.
Yeah, no, that sounds pretty bad, actually.
Only bad if you have a bad attitude. But also, yeah, you should definitely strap in.
You sit down in your seat and strap yourself in as tightly as you can, holding onto the handle on the side tightly as Zebedee continues to make adjustments on the control panel. So, this all seems very bad. Can he actually get them down?
Oh, sure, I've been through way worse. One time, well, I had to ride the edge of an Imperial bombing run to try to pull one of our ground teams on a colony world. They didn't make it, but at least I tried, right?
Yeah, that definitely counts for something. Better than the alternative in any case.
Yeah.
You cut in through the cloud layer, and the planet suddenly snaps into view below you. It looks like you're actually out over the ocean, a part of Alternia you have extremely mixed feelings about in general. Oh, I am quiet. Oh.
I'm gonna move the mic up.
And you should probably take the audio out. It looks pretty loud.
Yeah, there we go. Let's adjust that. What is making that noise?
Discord.
Is that your Discord?
Maybe. Oh! It's my Discord on that computer.
Oh, it's on the computer.
I don't feel like
Okay,
getting
whatever,
up.
that's
We're
fine.
gonna have to deal with the sound.
Right, because you unplugged your headphones.
Yeah.
All right, you should be good now.
You cut it. Oh, but at least Zebedee seems competent in spite of his nervous energy. He looks terrified, but he's steady as he brings the ship down in a shaky glide, sweeping lower and lower toward the shoreline.
We'll land so you can do your thing, and I can check out the ship. Probably okay to fly again, but you gotta make sure.
Do I sound better now? You feel like you should be panicking a lot more than you are. That's kind of your whole thing. Except maybe not anymore. You're just feeling so emotionally flat lately, so completely burned out on everything, so ready to be done with all this and go home.
You're good now.
Okay, cool. So you just sit quietly and watch the planet get closer and closer. And then you're there. The landing itself is surprisingly gentle. Reminds you of a slightly bumpy landing on an airline. The mundanity of it is almost shocking. If that were an emotional.
It's a typo.
Oops. You were able to actually feel anymore. You unbuckle yourself and step out of the co-pilot's seat, stretching your legs eagerly. Behind you, Zebedee is up and out of the pilot's seat almost before you even.
Well, we're here. Wherever here is exactly anyway. Your friend didn't say.
Zebedee laughs nervously and glances around.
Well, I'll just check out the ship, and we can get going when you're done with what you need to do. Wonder where we are.
He pulls out a small palm husk and taps the screen a few times, a puzzled expression on his face. After a minute, the expression changes. He's not puzzled anymore. He's terrified.
Oh shit. We have to get out of here as soon as we can.
Wait, what's wrong?
We're in an Imperial exclusion zone.
You don't know what that is exactly, but it sounds pretty bad.
It's very bad.
He's starting to hyperventilate. This is reminding you uncomfortably of the way he was when you first met him. Uncertain and indecisive.
I just need a minute to get my shit together, okay?
He closes his eyes, takes a deep breath, and centers himself. When his eyes open again, you see the same easy confidence you remember from a couple cycles ago.
Okay, here's what's happening. I'm checking this thing, and we're getting out of here. You stay put, and don't touch anything that can break.
Yeah, about that, you really need to get out and walk around a little bit. You promise you'll stay close to the ship.
Good, because we're leaving as soon as this is ready.
You step out of the ship and onto a wide, purple-pink expanse of sand and rock punctuated by sand dunes and various rock formations that jut up and reach toward the sky. There's something oddly foreboding about it all. You're not sure exactly why. It's nice enough. For once, no one's trying to kill you. There's no blood or dead bodies. No reminders of the constant existential horror of the Empire here. No drones, no military. Nothing other than the sand and the sea and the sky. Honestly, you're not sure what makes this an exclusion zone in the first place. Maybe the ocean has some connection to sea dwellers? Are they protected on Alternia or something? All in all, there's nothing around that makes your weird danger senses make any sense. Well, okay, this is something. Off in the distance, you can see a massive structure rising up to touch the sky. It looks like honestly, the first thing that comes to mind is a sand castle writ larger than life. Some kind of castle or fortress or palace. Maybe this is why this is an exclusion zone. Surely this is where some kind of high blood lives. Somewhere deep inside, your friendship senses are going off, but they're accompanied by your danger senses, and you're pretty sure you should start listening to those more. As you stand there gawking, you notice a figure moving in among the sand dunes. As they draw closer, you suddenly recognize who this is. It's Remily! You're sure of it. The silhouette of her horns and that outfit she always had on are enough for you to pick her out before she even approaches. It doesn't look like she sees you yet, and you're wondering if you should head over there and see what's going on. Then again, you're not supposed to be running around right now. You're supposed to be staying out of sight and waiting for the ship to get fixed.
Alright, I'm gonna take over reading.
Okay.
We're gonna do the game's bad ending.
Huh.
Stay out of sight. As much fun as you think it would be to run over and say hi to Remily, you get the feeling that this would be a very bad thing to do. You don't know why you think this, just a sense. A sense that there's something more in that tower, something deeply unsettling. So you stay out of sight. And after a while, Remily leaves. For a brief moment, you think she sees you. Her head lifts, and then her shoulders slump, and she turns to walk away, back down the beach. You walk back toward the ship, moving away from the weird tower thing. After maybe 10 minutes of walking, you're back in sight of the ship.
So, you've finally come to your senses. A bit late, but who am I to judge? You've caused no real harm, after all.
Are you okay?
You open your eyes. You didn't realize you were even closing them. Zebedee is there, wringing his hands and looking worried.
What were you doing anyway? Looked like you were just kind of zoning out.
He smiles nervously and shrugs.
You know what? Don't worry about it. Ship's ready, so we can go.
Oh yeah, the ship. You glance back toward the tower, and for a second you wonder if you should tell him about it. But at this point, what difference would it make?
My dear reader, I've said this all along. There is a way that things are meant to be here. A certain natural order to this planet. A finely machined system.
You're sitting in the ship, already strapped in place. You don't remember doing that, but it doesn't matter. You're already in the air, pulling steadily up and away from the beach.
What do you want to do now? I've got to get back to base, but I can drop you somewhere first. It's not a big deal at all.
Oh, yeah, you guess you could probably go to the Jade Caverns? You can give them some general directions.
We have a... Oh.
No, I'll read it in a minute, because it's time-based. This time, you're painfully aware when you close your eyes, and you let the sensation of the ship's movement lull you into a half-sleep as the time drops away.
Honestly, I'm amazed you didn't just accept this to begin with. You always struck me as being exceptionally pragmatic.
I'm going to turn this up just a little for us, not for the audience.
Okay.
You arrive back at the Jade Caverns a couple hours later. The vision of the tower looming on the horizon is still vivid in your mind, but you're sure that you made the right decision.
Oh, the grubs.
Things are tense, but they're okay for a while. You settle into a pleasant routine with Lanera, Daria, and Branya. You think they forgive you. Another perigee. That's about how long this lasts.
If you'd simply listened to me in the very beginning, your life would be so much simpler. I warned you, and you insisted that you knew best.
In the end, you can't stay in the caverns. You knew that eventually it would happen, but it's still a shock when the drones show up with Branya's replacement. She and Lanera make sure you and Daria can get out the back entrance, but Branya refuses to come with you. She says they won't go looking for one random jade, but the matriarch of the caverns, that's different.
You thought you could make a difference, but you failed to recognize something. All of this is inevitability. All of this, it was always going to happen. You never had to bear witness to it.
You and Daria arrive in the city right before dawn and find where Chixie's hiding out. And maybe Elward is still there too. Daria doesn't want to speak to you anymore, and Chixie, she just looks betrayed. You spend the world's most awkward day watching them get drunk together. Elward is nowhere to be found. That evening, you leave without saying another word. You're trying to get in touch with Malik, but you can't seem to get through to him. His chitter hasn't been active for a week, and you keep checking the Imperial alerts to see if there's any notifications about him, but nothing ever shows up. You go back to their base, but the building is nothing more than a burnt-out husk. You suspect that the Legis Corpus were responsible.
You chose to see this.
You spend another 3 days in the city, trying desperately to stay out of sight. It isn't easy, but you've had a lot of experience at this point. Your palm husk is just about drained, but not enough that you can't check the news to see the story about the apprehended Goldbloods that escaped from their fleet assignment. About the Olive and Bronzeblood rebels killed in a gunfight with Legis Lacerators while trying to get back to their stolen ship. About the rogue showmaster who was turned into the Imperial courts by his ever-loyal Kismesis.
All you had to do was go back home. The simplest thing in the world. I warned you, simply out of concern for you. Your mistake was thinking that my concern was born out of malice. But, my dear reader, I never hated you.
You think that another perigee passes as you spend your time running and hiding in and out of the city. Friends disappear. Amazia and Tirona are nowhere to be found. Wanchi posts something about Ascension and then nothing. You go back to the cave where Lank was hiding out, hoping to find someone that you know. Of course, he's gone too. You don't have any idea where. There's no trace of what happened to him, and if he left you any indication, it was wiped out sometime in the last couple perigees. You spend your nights looking up at the stars, hoping that your friends up in orbit are okay. But the truth of it is, you don't think they are.
Everything I said, everything I did, it was born only out of concern, out of a deep and abiding worry for your circumstances.
After a while, you're running out of places to go. If you try to get back to the city to find Trixie and Daria again, maybe they'll be willing to let bygones be bygones. But they're gone too. Places you once knew are abandoned. Drones and Legis Corpus patrols are everywhere. You can't seem to get in touch with any of your old friends. You're holding out hope that at least you can get through to Stealth and Tisius. The last two, the ones you're sure are still alive at least.
If nothing else, you cannot say I didn't warn you.
And then, one day, you see it. A small bulletin about the Legis Corpus finally apprehending 2 rebel Tealbloods in a small town not far from Outglut. And you know, there's no coming back from this. No grand rescues or daring escapes.
If only you had simply listened to me, none of this would ever have happened.
How much longer do you even have in Alternia? Eventually, you know that someone will find you, and on that day, you'll finally be free of this place. But you can't bring yourself to seek that out, so you keep running, and you keep hiding, and you keep thinking the same thing again and again, the same thought that won't leave you. The worst part of every tragedy is that the outcome is inevitable. The conclusion is foregone even before you read the first word of the first page. And maybe this is a tragedy after all. The art in that section was done by Chumi, who you may know as both a very long-time fan artist and also one of the Homestuck Beyond Canon artists now.
This is our version of End of Friend Vangelion from the original.
Yeah,
Friendsim.
the existential dread ending.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which I did a dub of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, that was...
Actually, the dub is one of the reasons I made this.
I did that dub like 5 years ago, 6 years ago?
Damn.
How long ago did I do that?
It was a while.
It was at least 5, if not 6. Actually, it's probably getting on 6 at this point.
We'll skip through this. Alright. Start up again. Skip through to the decision. Alright, head over to her. I'll keep reading for now.
Cool.
You start to move out from around the dunes that conceal you from view, walking slowly towards Remily. It looks like she notices you, but she doesn't seem to react very strongly. She just lifts her head, then looks back down at the beach. You rush over to where she's standing, your little feet leaving small tracks behind you in the damp sand.
It's you.
This is the part where you'd usually cheerfully introduce yourself and start to explain the whole situation. Except you haven't exactly been feeling the most positive lately. It seems like the closer you get to your final goal...
It's almost 6 years.
Oh,
January
damn.
of
Oh,
2019.
Wow, holy crap.
Yeah.
The harder things become, the more everything feels like it's slipping through your fingers.
What are you doing here? This is an exclusion zone.
Oh yeah, you already knew that.
So, what are you doing here?
Remily shrugs and looks away, off toward the tower in the distance.
Never mind. I should go.
Wait, you decide that now is actually the best time to explain things. You've got a way off the planet. You've got a way that she can get away from everything. A way she can be safe. You're used to a mixed bag of reactions to this speech, but Remily actually looks genuinely excited.
Oh? You know a way to escape the Empire?
Well, yeah, that part was definitely implied.
Oh, good. You need to come with me. I have someone you should meet.
For a moment, you feel like maybe you should turn back. To go back to the ship and just wait until it's fixed. To actually listen for once. But something inside stops you. You already made that fateful choice, and now you're in it for the duration. So you follow Remily along the beach, towards the tower in the distance. It's a walk shared in silence as the looming shadow above grows deeper and deeper. You enter through a massive gate and into a grand hall that stretches up into a staircase at the far end. It's opulent. reminds you of a castle back on Earth, but done up in the strangely organic style of so many Alternian structures.
You need to be very careful in here. The mistress of this place, you need to show her proper respect.
Remilly's quirk is, so all of the quirks in the game are programmatic, that they're not baked into the text. We want people to be able to turn them off. And Remilly's quirk was by far the most annoying to create, because there's no real pattern to it, so it just has like a lookup of words. There's like a dictionary of all the words that get changed, and the game just changes them dynamically. Because it's not consistent. Like sometimes she'll say like fuck with the QUE, and sometimes she doesn't. Like, there's no way to just say, oh yeah, always change these letters to this thing. Because in the original game, it was just done by hand. Yeah.
That, I would say that sounds annoying. I can't believe people had to do that, but I had to do that when I did Distant Quest.
Yeah, no.
I've written in Quirk before. It sucks. Thank you for making the things that add the quirk, so I didn't have to write in Tizius's quirk and add all those fucking M's.
It's better for accessibility and also makes it a lot easier for the writers. Yeah, you can do that. But before you go meet her, is Remilly doing okay?
Am I doing okay?
She laughs and shakes her head.
What a strange question to ask.
It's just that a lot of your old friends weren't exactly thrilled to see you back on account of the whole abandoning them for sweeps thing.
Oh, well, you and I were hardly friends. More like, business partners. Sometimes an arrangement does not work. It is the way of things after all.
You didn't really think of it like that, but she does make a good point. Okay, cool. So, what about the woman who runs this place? She must be pretty important. High blood, obviously. Maybe a violet? This seems like the kind of ostentatious environment they'd enjoy.
Not exactly. Come with me.
Remilly leads you up the staircase and toward the back of the grand hall, then around a corridor and into a hallway. But as you're walking, she stops. She freezes.
Hold on. Wait.
Wait? What is it? What's happening?
She's here. She's awake.
What? Who's awake? Remilly quickly grabs you and pulls you off to the side into a massive dining room. She hastily pulls you under a long table draped with a tablecloth and tucks the two of you underneath.
Be quiet. She's coming.
You should save so you can get a bad ending here.
Well, I mean, I can still get the bad ending. It'll just take me back to the checkpoint.
Oh.
From the hallway, you can hear the sound of heavy footfalls. Someone's coming. You huddle next to Remilly, struggling to control the panic that's rising up inside you. When you see the figure in the doorway, you almost break cover and run to greet her. It's your old friend, Nike. Sit here. Except something's off about her. Something that looks both oddly familiar and fundamentally wrong. As she steps into the dining hall, it's not hard to see what it is. Half her body looks like it's been augmented with various cybernetic enhancements, or replacements. And the way she moves around the room reminds you of a wolf trying to sniff out prey. Remilly puts a hand over your mouth, but you don't think you need to be reminded that it would be extremely bad if Nike were to find you. You can barely control the shaky in your hand. You need to keep yourself hidden, stay in the blind spot. I'm just gonna beef this one. You slip and you start to fall forward, only to catch yourself at the last minute. But it's too late. Nike grabs you and hauls you out into the open. She's strong, too strong. You don't stand a chance of getting away. Not that you don't try, you thrash and wriggle and try to slip out of her grip of literal steel. It's useless. She holds you without a shred of mercy, without even a glimmer behind her cybernetic eyes of recognition or compassion. Your vision is fading. Nike squeezes her hands around your throat.
I gotta use the math.
Okay.
Entertain the masses.
All right, I'll leave it here while you use the bathroom so you can see the bit after the ending.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, you're good. Yeah, so a little thing about the game, the mini game there. which shows up a couple times during this route where you have to hide. So, like, the idea that I had was to have a game where MSPAR had to do, like, the kind of, keep the controller steady, keep quiet kind of thing that a few games have used. Excuse me. But the problem was, like, the original version of the game had, like, had this little bar on the bottom of the screen with, like, a indicator that you had to kind of keep steady. Like, it would move back and forth, and you had to sort of balance it by moving the mouse. Except the problem with that was it tended to... One, it wasn't very intuitive, like, the way the mouse moved. Like, it didn't really feel very, like, it didn't make a lot of sense. And also it had a tendency to just, like, slam the bar to the side, and then you'd fail really quickly. So I wanted to make something that was a little more, like, fun to play. So I came up with the idea of having this little, keep the thing in the circle. And actually some of the assets, like the bar in the bottom is actually a reused asset from the original version. It's just repurposed. And then the other thing about it is, so the way RenPy works with its, like, screen update language and updating the mouse position is, if the mouse is not moving, it kind of, like, doesn't update the position of the mouse. So, but it also doesn't refresh, like, the state of buttons and like, graphic objects. So in order to use the screen language for that game, the mouse actually slightly moves. Like, it trembles by, like, a pixel every frame. And so that's why there's the comment about, like, your hands are shaking. So if you happen to notice the mouse cursor kind of quivering, it's a feature. But it's actually necessary to get the game to, like, keep polling the RenPy engine to update, like, the position of it relative to the object on screen, the circle. Because the alternative was having to write all of that in, like, Python custom, which I didn't really feel like doing. I wanted to try to use RenPy as much as possible. So I had to do a little trickery. But, yeah. That was the idea for the hiding minigame. Yeah. Like, honestly, I don't notice it. Like, when I played the game, I was like, you don't really notice it as a thing, but, like, just in case. And I didn't want to make it so extreme that it would, like, actually throw the cursor out of the circle, because that would feel kind of bullshit. Like, you should have control over it. Like, as a general rule. It's not the last minigame the game has. There's two more. One of which is sort of a gimmick thing. And the other of which is a hidden secret in Volume 14. So, those are fun. And you got to see them next volume. Actually, the secret minigame in Volume 14 is one that I wrote very, very, like, a while ago. I wrote it when back when New Game Plus was still, like, a thing I was working on. I made this, like, minigame for it just for fun, and I actually ported it over because it's a fun little thing to do, and whatever form New Game Plus takes now, if any, I'm not involved in it, and the code I wrote isn't being used, so I wanted to at least show that bit of it. Because it was originally written for, like, there was going to be this, like, Aradia route, which had, I think I mentioned it before, because there's some sprites in Technicolor Heart that actually came from it. And some other sprites that never got showed off. I don't really see how I would use them for something else, but Riot Breaker did a really good job on them, so. Sometimes stuff just doesn't end up getting used. And, it is what it is. I think I've mentioned in the past that, there's a whole version of the Volume 12, like, dream mini. Well, I mean, it's just part of the process sometimes, is, you make stuff and it doesn't end up fitting, and you just, your options are to try to shoehorn it in somewhere or whatever, and then, or just, cutting it. Like, we have this whole, like, trial, there's, like, a dream sequence trial in Volume 12 that was gonna be the dream sequence bit instead of Technicolor Heart. That plus some other stuff that reused game assets, but when I made Technicolor Heart, it's like, okay, this doesn't make sense to include anymore, so it got cut. But like, it's fully done. Like the writing is done. It has dialogue that Anna and I recorded, because it was Tizius and Tagora, basically like arguing with each other in trial format. But I don't know. At some point, I might release it as like cut content. You know, an option from the menu or something where you can play it. Because that part actually had like new stuff. The other bits were just gonna be like sort of recycled dialogue lines from elsewhere in the game. But Technicolor Heart was more fun, so I think Anna's about to come back. But yeah, there's this has been a learning experience in terms of like what Ren'Py is capable of, especially with a lot of the mini games and stuff. You know, just trying to push the limits of like what it can and can't do, and kind of figuring out what it can and can't do well. Hey.
Hello. How's the chat doing?
They're doing fine. I was talking about the mini games and stuff. Also mentioning the Volume 12 cut content again.
Yes.
Which, yeah, you should put your headphones on. We got a death sequence here.
Oh boy, we got is it a council sequence?
You'll see. The council will see you now.
You move the little stick around.
And that's what controls the character.
No, you don't control him. You keep the cans from hitting his head, see?
Can comrade!
Yeah, I was mentioning that briefly. I didn't give any details about it, but I mentioned there's a secret minigame in Volume 14.
Yeah, I see. This is neat. It doesn't let me have anything like this. Doesn't let me have anything.
I'm sorry. That sounds horrible.
Something feels off. You don't see any of them.
Psst. I can hear you, you know.
Who are you talking to?
Don't worry about it. Just an old friend. One I expect we'll be seeing very soon.
Well, that made me lose the game.
Oh no, these are voices in the game.
One of them just happens to be voiced by Janaya.
I did, so this is Boldir and Damara talking, if you don't recognize the quirks. Well, Damara's quirk is different than in canon, because Google Translate Japanese wasn't really the play here.
Nope. No.
But yeah, no, I just did Boldir's voice. in a way that sounds kind of like Marge Simpson.
Yeah.
We should stop playing anyway. He's going to wonder where you went.
I hate him so much. He's not even my real Lysis.
And you need to get back before she gets worried.
You're pretty sure you're dead, actually.
Nonsense. Death is just a state of mind. My young friend here can send you right back.
Do I have to? I wanted to keep playing.
Later. Remember what we talked about before?
I know. Preserving the sense of narrative investment is critical to ensuring a positive outcome.
That's right.
Fine.
All right, let's try to not beef it here. Yay. Finally, Nike glances around the room once more, grits her teeth, and turns to stomp out again. Next to you can feel Remily shaking. The two of you sit and wait for a while more, and eventually your heart stops hammering in your chest, and you can breathe normally again.
We should be okay now.
Let's see what the chitter is. Oh, it's Chixie sharing more random stuff.
Are they gonna call me for all of this? Who knows? It's all open secrets.
Okay, before you do anything else, you need to know what the entire hell was happening there. You remember Nike, you knew her. You trained together and everything.
I doubt your friend has retained much of herself, sadly.
But what happened? You've seen some pretty horrific stuff over the last 6 night cycles, but this is something you've never seen before. Remily shrugs her shoulders and stares down at the floor.
I don't know what to tell you. The two of us, we've only been here for a little over a week.
Okay, sure. That's definitely information you have now, but why is she even here? Why is she like that? Once again, Remily shrugs.
I still don't know what you want me to say. I didn't know her. I don't know why any of this is happening. But maybe she can answer your questions.
You walk back toward the grand hall, pausing on the stairs briefly to look out over the cavernous structure. It's huge and it feels impressively official, but there's something weirdly impersonal about it all. It's like everything here was designed to convey only the sense of imposing formality, but not to serve the needs of anyone in particular. Your chance to reflect on what this all might mean is cut short as Remily motions for you to follow her up the other side of the stairs.
When we meet her, please mind yourself. Be careful.
Oh, is this person dangerous? Remily shakes her head.
No, not that. It's hard to explain.
Remily leads you up another series of stairs and down a lengthy hallway that ends in a massive door.
Ooh, is another thing gonna happen?
On the other side of the door is one of the largest, most impressive bedrooms you've been in. Unlike the grand hall below, this room has a much more personal feel to it, as if someone actually lives here. Before you can fully take in your surroundings, you hear someone moving from the nearby balcony.
Who are you, and what are you doing here?
Oh shit, this is bad. Standing in front of you is a face you only know from Imperial propaganda and her nightmarish Twitter feed.
I said, who are you, and what are you doing here?
Trizatethis, the heiress to the entirety of the Alternian Empire. And you're standing in her bedroom, and she's holding a very large, very sharp-looking trident. You don't have much time. You start to stammer out a reply, but Triza takes a step closer to you.
Give me one good reason I shouldn't kill you where you stand.
Your magic.
I told you never to call me that!
Triza wheels to stare at Remily. When she speaks again, her tone is different.
I told you not to call me that.
I'm sorry, Teresa.
What the hell is happening? Triza turns back to you, but slower this time. Before she can ask you who you are a third time, Remily interrupts.
This is an alien. The one that's been on the alert network. They say that they know a way out. A way off the planet.
Something in Triza's eyes lights up and she shifts her weight back, planting the trident on the ground.
Is this true? You know of a way to leave?
Of course, you've been working on the specifics, but you definitely have a plan, and you're definitely working on it. Triza examines you for a minute, and her face is impossible to read. And then, without warning, she reaches up and grabs the crown off her head, tossing it across the room to land in the corner. With a heavy sigh, she tosses her trident aside as if it were a toy she was done with. And you get the feeling that the woman standing here in front of you isn't the heiress, so much as she's just Triza.
If that's true, then come with me.
Triza leads you and Remily out onto a large balcony overlooking the ocean. You didn't realize when you were climbing all those stairs just how high up you are. The entire scene has you a little bit awestruck. Triza's looking at you like she notices.
You're not used to our world, are you?
You shake your head. You spent some time here a couple sweeps ago, but you were mostly hanging out in a couple specific places. You never saw anything like this.
It's impressive, isn't it?
You nod enthusiastically. You're still trying to sort out why she's talking to you so casually, but you figure a little bit of positivity can't hurt.
It's a prison. An opulent prison of shining glass with gilded walls, but a prison all the same.
She stares out over the water, frowning.
Remily, can you give us a moment?
Remily nods quietly and fades back into the bedroom, leaving you and Triza standing alone together on the balcony. There's something about Triza that strikes you as being oddly familiar. Someone you met in another life once, in a dream of a dream. The memory of someone who lived her whole life under a shadow.
I suppose you have questions.
Yeah, you do. You shake your head as if that'll clear out the fog you can feel forming over your mind.
I think we get to ask all of these, so which do you want to ask first?
Well, let's see, chat. What do you want to know?
Did you have it on low latency? Because unless you want to wait like 40 seconds for the answer, I'm asking you, Anna.
I have it on ultra low latency.
Oh, cool.
Interesting to see how Triza is like, since we barely know anything about her.
Yeah.
Okay, Nike. Yeah, let's do Nike.
This is before we continue, this is a very canon divergent version of Triza. Like, there is a reason for that, but like, this is not how Triza is in Hive Swap. What happened to Nike? You're trying to keep the panic out of your voice, but you don't think
Your friend is dead.
What? No, she's not. You saw her just a few minutes ago. It looks like she's been through something, but it wouldn't be the first cybernetic friend you have.
No. Your friend isn't there anymore. Whatever they left, that's someone else. Something else.
But why would anyone do that to her?
Because every palace needs a loyal bark beast.
What now?
Any other thoughts? Let's ask about Remily. I'm curious about Remily.
You were wondering about her before. She was an artist, but her chitter was deactivated. Honestly, you thought she might have been killed.
For all that she's been forced to become, she might as well have been. Remily is... She serves me as I see fit. But she serves the Empress above all else. And the Empress's hidden left hand.
Hidden left hand?
Yes, the one that holds the dagger.
Triz's face grows dark as she leans back and stares out over the water.
So she has her place here. She assists me how she can, and she has her specific duties for the Empress. Which include, I believe, spying on me.
Triza heaves out a long sigh.
I can't hold it against her. The alternative would surely have been unpleasant.
What's she doing here?
There are a great many answers to that question. Perhaps you'd consider being more specific.
Well, you kind of expected that she'd be, running things? She's not the Empress, but doesn't she have responsibilities in the Empire all the same?
Of course I have responsibilities. It's my responsibility to wait until it's time for me to fight her imperious condescension. And then it's my responsibility to kill or die.
She spits out the words with a sneer, and what she says next is dripping with sarcasm so obvious that even you pick up on it.
So yes, I suppose I have responsibilities after all. Important ones, truly vital to this great empire.
Which do you want to see first?
How about why isn't she,
I can assure you that I don't.
Why isn't she trying to kill you or anything? You thought that the heiress to a galactic empire of untold cruelty would be maybe a little bit hostile.
You've met so many in your time, have you?
Well, actually you have, 2 nickels and all that stuff, although neither of them was particularly mean to you. But you thought she was different than that. You had the sense somehow that Triza was going to be someone who was a real threat.
You don't know me very well, obviously.
But isn't she the heiress? Can't she just do whatever she wants? Can't she just leave and go wherever she pleases? Triza shakes her head and frowns.
If only it were that simple. But there are reasons I can't leave anymore.
It strikes you as odd that she chooses this specific way to phrase things. I'm just gonna say it real quick.
What do you mean by that exactly?
Never mind. It's not important right now. Triza narrows her eyes, but she doesn't say anything else. Is Nike keeping her here? The heiress actually laughs at you when you say this. Wait a minute. What did you say?
You honestly believe that she holds me here? That this bundle of steel and hatred makes the smallest difference in what I choose to do?
Yes? You saw Nike before, and she was terrifying. You think that she'd probably be able to give even Triza a run for her money.
I said before she was this place's loyal bark beast.
Triz's gaze flits downward, and a deep frown crosses her face.
And maybe that was too harsh of me. I cannot bring myself to hate her, only to feel my heart break for what she has become.
So if that's the case, why can't she just leave? She said it was a prison, but if nothing keeps her here...
I didn't say that. I said that Nike isn't the one keeping me here. There are other reasons I'm bound to this place.
She glances back toward the bedroom where Remily is standing, patiently waiting.
I was never able to muster the cruelty required to walk away.
About her chitter. Triza shakes her head, laughing softly. Did you say something funny? You were trying to be serious.
No, it's just that it hasn't been my chitter for several cycles now. One of Remily's duties here is to maintain it and provide the sort of content that the Empire has decided I should produce.
Triza doesn't seem to like the idea of what her own chitter has been posting very much, and when you think back on it, there seemed to be a distinct shift in tone. Around the time she stopped talking to Credia. Oh, Triza looks angry.
Why would I be angry? Why would I seethe with unbridled disgust at what they did?
Triza looks away and a strange look comes over her face. Does she want to talk about Credia?
Why would I want to talk about her? About a woman I only knew briefly.
Well, you read her chitter post and it seems like they were close.
Of course. It doesn't matter. What's one more reason to hate the Empire on top of a mountain of them?
Oh, you weren't expecting the heiress to have such a negative view of the Empire, especially since it seemed like she had some hope that things could be improved.
Improved? That's a twisted joke of a thought, isn't it? That this place could be anything other than what it was engineered to be.
You feel a shock run up your back, and once again a memory of the impossibly old house hits you. What does she know about that?
About what? About how the Empire is designed by her imperious condescension to be a place where your worst impulses are rewarded?
Yeah, that's definitely all you were talking about. You know what? Maybe this isn't the kind of thing you should be talking about right now. You feel a strange sense of pressure, as if you're being seen once more. It's gone almost immediately, but you can't deny that it was real. Triza sighs and turns back toward the bedroom.
Is that sufficient? Have I provided adequate illumination to sate your curiosity?
Yeah, honestly, this is a lot more than you expected.
Remily, I suppose we should provide our guest with some refreshment. Can you go fetch something?
Oh, of course, Triza. I'll go right away.
As soon as Remily walks out of the room, Triza turns back to you, eyeing you skeptically.
Now, back to you. I've answered your questions, so I would ask one of my own in turn. You mentioned leaving this place before. What exactly are you saying?
This choice doesn't actually matter, but I'm gonna be consistent anyway.
Yeah.
You think you can help her?
And how exactly do you propose to help me?
Well, you see, there's people that don't exactly love what the Empire's about, and it seems like maybe she's the kind of person who might be okay with that.
So essentially, you're asking me if I want to openly support the rebels that wage war against my own empire?
Yes? Triza laughs at you.
If only I could. I hate this empire. I hate everything it stands for and what it does to its people. But it's hardly that simple. The left hand is always watching.
She mentioned that before, but you don't know what it means exactly. Who is the Empress's left hand?
The one she put in charge of her military. The one who makes sure that I don't deviate.
Does this have anything to do with what happened to Credia? With what she didn't want to talk about before?
What makes you think I suddenly want to discuss this matter with you? What you're suggesting is absurd to begin with. I won't entertain such delusions.
As you're talking to Triza, you hear something in the distance. The sound of one of the Alternian atmospheric transports. Shit, did somebody really decide to go without you? But no, you see Triza's face briefly turn to a mask of sheer panic.
We need to get you out of sight.
Wait a minute, what's going on?
He's coming!
Who is coming?
The Imperator. We don't have time for this. Get in the closet!
You're shuffled unceremoniously into a closet in the side of the room. Something about this gives you a weird sense of deja vu, as if you've been in a similar position in the past.
Oh, MSPAR stuck in the closet. Come out of the closet, MSPAR. We'll love you no matter what.
But something about this feels so much worse, so much more real.
Your Majesty, he's here.
This time, Trissa doesn't correct Remley's use of her title. You hear her walking over to the corner of the room to retrieve her trident.
I know. I saw a ship coming in. Just stay quiet and don't say anything.
You hear someone coming up the stairs, closely behind Remley.
My dear heiress, I hope that you're decent. We have to talk.
Through the slats in the closet, you have to squint to make out the figure standing opposite Trissa, the one she called the Imperator. He's tall, with the air of someone who spent most of his life in the military. Somehow, you feel like you've met him before. You can't explain why, but the feeling refuses to go away.
Petrus, what the fuck are you doing here? Haven't you already taken enough from me?
Petrus laughs slowly.
Oh? Are we on first-name basis now, my dear heiress? Please, you knew exactly what you were risking before you attempted that ridiculous stunt. Besides, that isn't even why I'm here. Not exactly.
Then again, what the fuck are you doing here?
I'm here to inform you that you are to begin to prepare for your upcoming proving. I thought it best that I come in person so as to impress upon you the seriousness of this situation.
Trissa's face goes pale and she shakes her head, rocking back on her heels.
Bullshit. Proving isn't until 15 sweeps. I'm just now 12.
The Imperator chuckles, as if she's just told him a particularly stupid joke.
I believe it's within the rights of her imperious condescension to make some modifications, don't you?
Fuck you, I'm not ready yet!
Be that as it may, you have the next 2 periges to get ready. This will give our Empress the time she requires to return from her latest conquest.
Trissa grits her teeth and shifts forward again, leaning her weight on the trident.
And what if I don't want to do that?
You're intimately familiar with what happened the last time you showed this kind of open defiance, Your Majesty.
You know what? Fuck you. What can you do to me that you haven't already done? You want to hurt me? To kill me? Fuck you. Do it. What'll your precious Empress think then?
The Imperator doesn't answer right away, but you can make out the smile playing across his face.
Your implication is correct, of course. I cannot do anything to you. But there is nothing stopping me from skinning her alive.
He gestures toward Remley, who flinches and draws back. You can see the change on Trissa's face, even from your hiding spot.
You fucking...
She shifts again, muscles tense like the spring of a gun's hammer, ready to fire. And the Imperator sees it, and he doesn't care.
Your Majesty, I believe that we have another matter to attend to today.
No one says anything, and you can feel the tension in the room. Fuck. Petrus turns toward the closet. You get the sense that you should be very quiet. It's another death sequence possibility. Woo! The closet door is thrown open, and there in front of you is the High Imperator, the man that Trissa called the left hand of the Empress.
Well, don't hide yourself in there. Come out.
You shuffle out of the closet as if you're in a trance, pushing past the door frame and into the room. Out of the corner of your eye, you catch sight of Remley lowering her head and moving back away from you.
What's your name?
You see, your name is...
Never mind, it's unimportant. Come closer.
You take another step toward the violet blood, toward the sharp-toothed grin. Behind him, Trissa begins to move.
Do you think you can strike me with that trident first, Your Majesty? Do you honestly believe that?
She stops in place.
Good. Your Majesty, why don't you and your servant take this opportunity to take in the fresh air? Excellent. Now, I believe you and I have some business to attend to.
Alright, I'm just gonna reload it because it loads right after the thing.
This is a hard blind spot game.
Yeah. Especially when I'm like off at an angle.
Ah, shit. The Nike one was easier.
Yeah, they're I'm gonna turn the difficulty down.
Yeah.
They're actually they're staggered in difficulty, so this one is harder than the previous one. It moves slower in the lower difficulties. Finally, get into gamer mode. Finally, the Imperator shrugs and turns back to Trizza, who's still standing there like she wants to run the trident right through him. But she doesn't, and you notice that the Imperator's hand rests on the pistol at his side. You wonder if Trizza could have moved fast enough to beat him to the draw.
I didn't come here to waste my time, Your Majesty. You know what is expected of you. You know the consequences. I fail to see anything else I can add. Make your peace however you will.
The Imperator leans over toward Remily and drops his voice. You have to strain to hear.
And you, my dear Cerulean, will ensure she stays focused and inform me of any issues, or else I will ensure you die screaming.
For 10 minutes, you sit in the closet trying to keep your racing heart under control. Trizza and Remily talk in voices too low for you to overhear. Part of you wants to know, but the other part of you wants to just be able to breathe normally, so you focus on that. Finally, Trizza opens the door to the closet and pulls you out.
You see, nothing is ever as simple as it seems.
Yeah, you're definitely getting that impression, which shouldn't even surprise you, you guess. Your big question right now is if the incredibly scary Violet Blood, the High Imperator, is gone or not. Trizza shakes her head.
He has most likely retreated to his ship to attend to other business for a while. Come with me. Let's head to the library.
Why? You're not saying you don't want to go anywhere with her, just that you're not really getting what this is going to accomplish. Shouldn't you be mostly working on getting out of here?
Oh, trust me, that hasn't left my mind. But there are things you need to know about first. Things about Alternia, things about me, and why what you're asking is far more complicated than you could possibly imagine.
Trizza, if this one knows a way out, shouldn't we take it?
There's a beat where Trizza pauses to look at you thoughtfully. She isn't angry or anything, but there's something uncomfortable about it. It's like she looks through you rather than at you. Like she sees something inside that even you don't want to talk about.
Trizza.
I heard you, but I think that this one maybe needs to understand what's really happening here.
Savey time.
Another Nike moment's coming?
In a bit, but not right away. You know what? You feel like you've actually gotten a pretty good understanding of what Alternia is about?
Of course. There's something rotten at the very heart of Alternia, and I think you've seen it.
You feel that tingle running up and down all over.
You've seen it, felt it, faced it head on. It's in between the words you say to me.
Trizza, you're starting to scare me.
Remily, you of all people know how much you should be scared.
Wait, what does this all mean? What does that mean? Remily swallows heavily and looks around.
I was accused of art theft by a Violet Blood. My punishment was being assigned here.
That's awful, but also it doesn't make any sense. From everything you've seen, it would make more sense for them to just kill her. Remily avoids your eyes.
I had other skills they needed. It was very situational.
You keep following Trizza along through the hallways towards the library. As you walk, you pass portraits of women and girls that look similar to Trizza. You can't help but notice that some of the younger girls are pictured with women wearing a very familiar shade of green.
I can see you looking at them.
Yeah, you were wondering about some of these portraits.
Not exactly.
Okay, well, something like that. But you're wondering about these ones with the women in green. Jade Bloods? Trizza nods and walks over to one portrait in particular. One of the smaller ones. It shows a young girl holding the hand of a stern-looking Jade Blood.
We don't have loose eyes, so we're raised by the matrons. Jade Bloods. You're right about that.
Trizza's face twists into a frown.
A Jade woman with her vocal cords removed.
Wait, what the fuck?
The idea is to limit contact with the heiress, especially during her formative years.
You don't have to tell them about this.
Yes, I do.
Trizza places a hand on the portrait and shakes her head.
She was like a Lucis to me. Since I was a grub, she was the only person I ever saw, other than him. And then, one day, when I'd finally reached 6 sweeps,
Trizza, you don't have to.
she was gone. I woke up one morning to find her vanished, and I never saw her again. It was then that the Imperator began my true education.
She glares off into the distance, and you wonder what this means. What truths the euphemism hides.
The part that hurts the most, that haunts me, is that I never even knew her name.
Trizza.
Remily walks over and places a hand on Trizza's shoulders. You're expecting Trizza to shake her off, but instead she just lets her shoulders slump as she shakes her head.
It doesn't matter.
But she doesn't finish her sentence. Instead, her eyes go wide as she quickly looks around quickly. Remily picks up on it immediately. So quickly it's uncanny. Okay, this is a Nike bit.
She's coming back. We need to hide.
Remily practically drags you along the hallway back to the dining room. She finds a section of the wall panel that looks slightly different than the rest and stops. She slaps the side of it and the panel pops away, revealing a small space behind it, just big enough for 1 or 2 people.
Get inside.
Wait a minute, now
Get
you can't.
inside.
Once you step into the space, Remily jumps in behind you and pulls the panel closed. When she speaks, her voice is barely above a whisper.
We need to keep quiet. She'll hear us.
Outside, you can hear heavy footsteps.
Why are you back already? Of course you can't answer me.
I don't think there's a unique death sequence, it's just the same one. You struggle to keep yourself under control. You can hear her moving outside. Next to you, Remily elbows you in the ribs.
Keep quiet.
Just go back to your hole. Leave me alone. I said go back!
This time you can hear Nike right outside the panel, and you know that if she notices you, it won't take any effort at all to rip it away. You can hear her hands on the panel.
What are you doing? I told you to leave!
The sound of a hand on the panel, the slight scrape of nails on the wood. You hold your breath and close your eyes. And then there's only silence.
Oh, thank God.
She knew you were there. When the panel does open again, it's only Trizza standing there looking at you. Well, that was abjectly terrifying.
Are you okay?
You're not sure okay is the word you choose, but you're alive, if that's what she's going for.
That will suffice. The indigo will be off for a while longer.
She has a name. Her name is Nike. Trizza winces.
Yes, well, Nike will be occupied for a while longer. We should continue.
When you reach the library, Trizza motions for you to take a seat in one of the massive chairs that sit along the walls. You settle in and she walks over to one of the shelves and retrieves a thick book.
I told you before, there's something rotten at the heart of all of this.
Just gonna see it again.
And here we are, so close to the center of everything.
A hole that consumes everything around it, a void without end, an impossibly old house. You shiver.
Trizza, you do not need to do this. You owe this person nothing.
I don't do things because I owe anyone anything. You know this.
She walks over to where you're sitting and sets the book down on a side table.
You want to know what the core of this looks like?
You nod. You don't know why, but you nod.
Let me tell you about Krydia Jeevin.
Another one of those shivers runs up your back. Is it too late to opt out of all of this? Maybe you should have taken Scratch up on that offer all those cycles ago. Just gone back home to the locked timeline. Surely you've done enough already for your friends, right? But You've seen where they all were, how bad things got because of the way Alternia just is. Maybe there's more to the story.
Cridia was a violet blood, my age. Off-world, living in one of the grand arcologies built for the high bloods in orbit around the planet. Always close to home, while still technically filling the Empress's mandate that trolls leave the planet when they reach their 10th sweep.
You're not sure what you're supposed to say to any of this, so you just sit down and shut up.
But Cridia cared about more than living in comfort. She cared about the plight of the lowest among us.
So she was into low blood rights. That seems like something that's pretty dangerous to be into.
You could say that, but she thought her status as a high blood would protect her.
This is interesting, you guess, but you're not really seeing what it has to do with what Trizza was saying before.
You're an impatient one, aren't you?
Yeah, sometimes. Trizza laughs.
At least you're honest. There's more to the story. There's always more to the story. Cridia was outspoken on chitter, the way that the Empire lets high bloods be outspoken.
Just enough to feel better, but never enough to disrupt things.
Exactly. You see, you have a better sense of things than you give yourself credit for.
Yeah, you've had to figure that out kind of on the fly lately. What was she saying about Cridia, though?
Of course. Cridia started talking to a certain fuchsia blood around her age.
Which was obviously Trizza. You feel like you're being babied a little bit, but also this feels like it's important to how Trizza is processing this. There's something that feels incredibly raw here.
I'll drop the pretense. I started talking to Cridia privately. Personally. Maybe I thought that things would be different than they always are. Maybe I thought our station would protect us. That my station would protect us.
You're not loving how this is going. How this is going to end.
What's the point in lying to you? To myself? I was flushed for her. Maybe I thought that would save her somehow.
The worst part of every tragedy is that the outcome is inevitable.
I woke that morning to find him already at my tower.
The conclusion is foregone.
He explained the situation to me, that she was gone.
Even before you read the first word of the first page.
No, he didn't bother with euphemisms. He took great joy in describing the way she'd screamed my name before she died.
You're expecting Trizza to start crying, but somehow she doesn't. Her voice feels like there's something missing from it.
And that was it. The last spark of hope. He had a cerulean and an indigo with him, ones who no longer existed.
She doesn't explain this, but you catch the meaning quickly enough.
You don't have to do this. It's still so fresh.
Stop it. I know that. I wanted to make a promise to myself that I wouldn't care about anyone after what happened. But I was never a talented liar, in spite of everything. Remily, I'm sorry.
Trizza sighs and closes her eyes, drawing in a long breath and holding it. When she lets it out again, her whole body seems to deflate.
So what can I do? You need to understand what I am, what I'm destined to do.
You're thinking you're starting to get the idea, actually. She's the heiress, the one who'll succeed the Empress, maybe? You got that much. Also, from context, it's pretty clear the process isn't settled in a way that would be described as non-violent. But what about the other fuchsias? Are there other heiresses out there?
There is one heiress. Fuchsias are hatched in groups and selectively culled down to the most promising grub.
You feel the bile slosh in your stomach as the reality of what this means hits you.
The rest is education. Alternian history, philosophy, science, combat training. And when the time comes, the proving and the chance to ascend to the place of the next Empress. Of course, most of us never survive that part of the process. Those that do tend to be formidable adversaries.
She sighs heavily and tosses the book she was holding down into the table.
Trizza, you need to give yourself some time to recover from everything. You try to pretend that everything is fine and you don't need help. But anyone can see what a dumbass liar you are.
Tristan laughs and turns to smile softly at Remily, her eyes catching the cerulean's gaze for a moment. You can't help but think that Remily strikes you as being maybe one of the most different of all your friends, like she's had the light inside of her snuffed out. But you think you can see a little bit of that spark still burning.
You see, if I leave, then Remily dies. He will hunt her to the ends of the Empire, simply to twist the knife in me a quarter turn. When he saw that I cared about Crydia, I revealed my weakness to him. I gave him the surest way to control me.
Okay, that's enough. You can't just keep sitting here calmly and listening to this. Everything about Alternia is horrible. She's right. There's a rotten, festering core at the heart of everything. A world designed to be a petri dish of the worst possible outcomes for everything. But you know what? You're fucking tired of it. You're tired of everyone having to struggle and scrap and fight just to get by. You barely know this woman. Why should she be any different? You don't care what color her blood is, what place she's been put into. Okay, this is the actual choice. You can help her fight. You explain that what's been happening with the rebels, how you've begun to help them organize and build up the resources they need. You never really expected to be in this position, but you seem to have a weird talent for connecting people, or at least getting in other people's business.
The rebels. The ones who care enough to actually defy this horrible place?
Yeah. You think that, well, having the heiress herself helping them would mean a whole hell of a lot to them.
I agree with you.
Well, she doesn't need to sound so surprised about it.
Don't misunderstand me. It's not that. It's just that I suppose I underestimated you before.
I'm not going to just let you do this by yourself.
You squint at Remily. You don't think she was the kind of person to care what someone else did or didn't do.
You're so stupid you think no one ever changes. Besides, I didn't say I cared about what someone else does. I care about what she does.
Because she cares about Triza? Remily goes a little bit blue and shakes her head.
Because I know how it feels to lose my freedom. Because that mattered to me more than anything.
She's glaring now, and you can see a little bit of the same hatred that burned behind Triza's eyes there as well.
Your freedom is something that never should have been taken from you. I'll help.
No, you will do no such thing. I can handle this on my own.
I wasn't asking for your permission.
Remily paces back and forth in the room, finally stopping near a bookcase.
Fuck! I can't stand here anymore in this stuffy room. Let's go back to the dining hall. At least it doesn't smell like moldy paper in there.
Triza message.
I'm tired of hiding. I'm not gonna stay in this fucking tower anymore. Condi, you piece of shit, I know you're out there. If you come for me, it's your body in the fucking disposal.
Alright, this is another you get to ask all of them, so... What do you want to ask first?
Well,
Anna.
chat, what do you want? Because I want to ask the chat.
This song is one of the ones Rainey did for the game.
4. That
Does
she know what's happening outside?
I'm guessing you don't mean just outside the tower.
No, of course not. More like the current situation in the Empire. What's going on with the rebellion and all that?
I don't know much. I see what the Empire approves on Cheater, and obviously that's a bunch of bullshit.
That's one way of putting it. The rebels are out there and they're tearing things up. You've run into a ton of people who genuinely want to burn the Empire and everything it stands for to the ground.
I'll take your word for it.
Alright, 1 was our next choice. How'd she end up here? Remily sighs and shakes her head.
That's a long story.
Well, it's not like either of you is going anywhere until Triza gets back. Maybe some time for the abridged version?
Fine. You know I was an artist. You know because you met me back then. I had such promise in the realm of popular art.
Yeah, you do remember that. Seemed like a pretty cutthroat scene, but she definitely seemed at home with it.
Well, it's hard to be involved in the art world when a violet blood accuses you of art theft.
Oh yeah, that sounds really bad. Out of curiosity, did she commit the art theft in question? Remily glares and clicks her tongue.
That isn't important. I was expecting a short trial and unpleasant execution, but I got taken here instead. I think it might have been better to have the execution.
What do we do now?
How does she about Triza?
That is complicated.
That's why you're here to help. You can provide a helpful ear for listening just as much as you can provide a handy escape from the hellscape that is Alternia. Well, you're still working on the second one, so maybe you're better at listening at this specific moment in time.
Right. Triza is... she cares a lot. Not sure what I'm supposed to do with that.
You get the sense that Triza cares a lot about Remily specifically.
Because she feels guilt. If she hadn't lost Credia, she'd feel differently. Always the same for the High Bloods. If it doesn't affect them personally, it doesn't exist.
You were getting the sense that Triza genuinely cared, though, about the Low Bloods and all that.
Sure, of course, but she's still never been down there. She doesn't know what it's like. Everything you see around you, it's all a prison. But that prison keeps her isolated as much as it keeps her trapped.
You do get the feeling that Triza's gonna have some unpacking to do, and you're not talking about her luggage.
What?
Never mind. You were just thinking your stupid out loud thoughts again.
You are pretty stupid, yeah.
What does she do here?
I keep the Ares cheater up to date for the Empire, and my duty is to serve the Ares.
She glances around quickly as if she's instinctively checking for someone who might be listening in.
Mostly she just talks to me. Like I'm her Moirail. It's weird.
Weird how? Remily shrugs.
I don't know. I think she misses her mate spirit and I'm just here to fill the gap.
Wait, Triza's mate sprit?
God, you really are dumb, aren't you? Credia. Anyone could see they were flourished for each other. We might as well put a name to it.
Oh yeah, I suppose that does make sense, given what Triza said before. You feel bad for her.
I do too. I'm not without a heart. I might be a thief, but I'm not a monster.
Wait, didn't she say she didn't commit theft?
I only implied that.
She was writing Triza's chitter posts?
Yes, it was one of the jobs that fish fucker assigned me.
Okay, question.
Yeah.
Now that Twitter is
X.
like, it's not just X, but shitter. What would the Alternian version of Blue Sky be?
I don't know.
Purple Sky?
Purple Sky, I guess, would be the really, like, on the nose one.
Or what about Blue Dye?
No, the Blue Sky does, like, I think Purple Sky makes purple dye.
Well, what would X be?
I don't fucking know. I considered changing it when the name changed. Like, I considered doing a bit about that, but like I didn't wanna.
Also, like, chitter was a canon thing in regular.
It was, yeah. I mean, it was a parody of Twitter. I could have continued the parody. Like, I was gonna make a joke about it changing its name.
It changed its name to the Alternian letter.
Oh God, yeah.
Wait, you should have made a logo of the Alternian X.
Oh God.
But like in the style of the stupid
The
fucking X logo.
math-
X would be like
It's just
Q.
like the mathematical symbol. He just like took it in a specific font.
He's such an
It's
idiot.
not a logo. It's just an X. It would be like Q.
Q. Oh, Elon Musk needs to die.
So stupid. She rolls her eyes to indicate her intense disgust with you, you assume, the High Imperator.
Exactly. High Imperator. But he just a stuck-up ass.
Well, he does seem more than a little bit terrifying.
Of course he's terrifying. You think I'm an idiot?
Okay, she makes a good point. But this is drifting off topic. She writes everything Triza posts? For how long?
Since I was brought here a few cycles ago after Credia disappeared.
So it's only been a few days?
Yeah, it's been like a week. It's been just over a week since Credia was killed. Because that's stuff that's mentioned in Triza's post if you scroll back on Chitter.
Yeah.
Like if you go back to her
Wait,
feed.
so how long has this 10 cycles? Okay.
Yeah,
So this whole game has only taken place over the course of a week.
Yeah, so that 6 cycles thing, it's actually it's using the game's internal like fake clock. It's not a fixed thing in the script. It's like a call to a function. Yeah, you've only been doing this for about a week.
Which is kind of crazy. This has been like a 4-year journey for us.
Yeah, well, if you played the game in its entirety, it's like maybe 35 hours to get through the whole thing.
That's true.
How does she know what to write?
They tell me and I fill in the bits that they left out. Just the usual bullshit about how great the Empire is. It's not hard to make it sound convincing because no one gives a shit.
How can she live like this? You're having trouble with how she can even accept the way things are. She's constantly under surveillance, and one wrong mood could mean her death. Remley is laughing at you.
Oh, like everywhere else is so much better. At least Teresa tries to keep me safe, for whatever that's worth. I'd be stupid to try to find a way out.
Except that you can help her with that.
Yes, that was the idea. You think I wouldn't take the chance to get out?
Well, you've seen people that actually seem to like it here, so...
Not me. Fuck this planet and this empire.
You weren't sure you understood before. Is Remley really saying she's gonna throw in with the rebels? No offense, but she never seemed like the revolutionary type.
I wasn't. But if my options are to let the empire keep shitting on everyone or not, this is a decision born of, how do you say, pure spite.
You tell her that she should be careful. In your experience, decisions made out of spite tend to be short-lived ones.
I don't care. They took everything I had away from me. I think I'm owed a little revenge.
You nod slowly and the conversation lapses into silence. You stretch yourself out, feeling your spine pop as it straightens, and you realize just how long it's been since you've had a chance to properly rest.
What in the world is taking her so long?
No idea. You really didn't know Triza well at all. You didn't meet her on your last trip through Alternia.
Well, I don't like it. You know that Indigo Monster is coming back soon.
You don't have the time to answer her. Fuck. You grab Remley's hand and scramble back toward the staircase that leads up to the tower. Behind you, Nike comes barreling after you. How the hell does she move so fast? You hear her stomping along, breathing even and measured. This isn't even making her exert herself. You think you can see Triza out on the balcony. Maybe she can convince Nike to stop. You and Remley reach the balcony, panting and gasping for breath.
What's going on here? I told you to...
Triza stops and looks at the hulking figure of Nike. Her trident is resting nearby, propped up against the balcony. But it's so far, and Nike is so close. You close your eyes.
Stand down.
Nike stops moving, as if she's frozen in place at the sound of the High Imperator's voice.
If you will kindly give us some space, I need to have a discussion with these three. There. You see, there's no need for all of that right now.
The High Imperator smiles at you, and you feel your stomach clenching up. The way the smile doesn't quite reach his eyes. The way the grim hollow of his gaze remains fixed in place even as he grins.
Now let me be direct. I know who you are. Alternian intelligence has been tracking you since you first arrived back in Alternia. You've been causing trouble. But in the grand scheme of things, it hardly matters.
You bastard. What the fuck do you want now?
Petrus turns to Triza and shrugs, his face impassive.
For you to understand and accept the role you were hatched to play, and for this one to explain themselves.
I'm gonna fuck this
Your
up.
dishonesty is growing tiresome. In fact, I failed to see why I shouldn't simply kill you here and now.
Petrus reaches for the pistol at his hip. Wait, you know you're not doing a good job of explaining, but you can do better. In fact, you were just getting to the part that clears everything up.
Very well. You may proceed.
You have no idea.
That's enough. This is boring me. Nike, you may proceed.
Wait a minute! The High Imperator doesn't respond. Nike moves closer to you.
You bastard!
Triza moves forward, grabbing... He's fast. Faster than you could have imagined, and the bullet hits its mark dead on. In less than the time it takes you to blink, the heiress to the Alternian Empire goes from the present to the past tense. And Nike is still advancing toward you. You're looking to see if there's some glimmer of recognition behind those synthetic eyes. You don't see any.
Who did the end cards for this one?
DDP. Try again. Alright, let's not fuck that up.
If you will kindly...
Alright, you didn't mean to end up here. Precious looks at you carefully as if he's trying to figure out whether you're a threat or not.
Interesting. And how exactly did you end up here?
Your ship crashed.
Intriguing. A spaceship? Tell me more. Is it perhaps an alien warship?
No, not really. More of a small personal craft. You tactfully avoid mentioning the ship that actually brought you here to the tower, not wanting to get yet another one of your friends in trouble.
And what are your plans here on Alternia? What are you trying to do here? Are you here to spy on our society? To gather information you can use against us?
Here, just making
Your
friends.
dishonesty is growing tight. In fact, I failed to see what...
That's right. It's
Very well.
You're trying to go home. You quickly explain that no, you're not an alien spy or an invader or anything else.
Why should I believe you? What reason should I have to let you live?
Basically harmless. You hold up your spindly arms to show how weak and useless you are. You might be an alien, but you're not like one of the face-hugging, acid-spitting kind. You're more the friendly kind, the kind that just wants to peacefully return to their planet. The High Imperator laughs and shakes his head, his hand straying towards his pistol.
I think I've heard more than enough. Nike, dispose of them.
Wait, no, this isn't fair.
What makes you think that ever had anything to do with this?
Next to the High Imperator, Nike steps forward, her arms raised. She turns and grabs the Violet Blood, lifting him bodily off the ground by his torso. You all watch, stunned. He tries to ward her off, but she grabs his throat and she won't let go. Round after round hit her, but she shrugs them off, ignoring the indigo welts that rise up as the bullets impact her body. And then, all the bullets are gone. The High Imperator's body goes limp. Slumped over on the ground, bleeding profusely, and definitely dying, Nike finally reaches up toward you. And finally, you can see recognition in her face. You hold her hand until she stops moving. Standing on this balcony over the sea, next to the bodies of the High Imperator and Nike Mula, you wish more than anything that you weren't here.
My god.
Remily looks like she's starting to shiver all over, and you can feel the shock of what just happened starting to set in over you too.
Good fucking riddance. He was a bastard.
She walks over and stomps down hard on his head. You hear a sickening crunch as her boots connect with his skull. Triza sneers.
Stay warm in hell for me, Petrus.
This is really happening. We're leaving.
Yeah, exactly. You pull out your palm husk and quickly message Zebedee. He should have the ship fixed by now.
There's a landing pad at the top of the far tower. You can go.
Okay, but what about her?
I have matters to attend to before I leave.
Fine. But we're leaving without you if you take too long.
Okay, so Remily is on her way now. Now, what about Triza? She can't possibly think it's a good call to stay here.
It doesn't matter. I already explained that I'm not leaving.
Yeah, but why?
I told you about Krydia already, but what I didn't tell you is, I knew she was involved with the rebels. I was getting ready to disappear with her, to become a symbol of what the people of the Empire could be. When she died, I told myself that I'd keep doing what she started here, even though she wasn't there to see it through. So I'm going to keep her legacy alive. Those ideas are bigger than any single person, bigger than any single moment in time.
The world around you freezes in place, and you feel that same deeply familiar thing clawing at you that you did at the very beginning of all of this.
I'm sorry, my dear reader, but this has gone on for far too long.
Okay.
Who will?
That's how Soleil's name is spelled?
They spell it a couple
I
different
thought it
ways,
was
but
like
that's
the
how
French
it's
word for the soul.
that's how it is on their Twitter.
Oh. If you thought these voices were amazing, you should check out the other 12 volumes.
What happens next is entirely up to you. Yeah. MSPAR's journey will continue in Volume 14, The Shadow of All Things.
That was a short volume.
Yeah, I told you. It's one of the shorter volumes.
That took us an hour and a half. I'm like shocked.
No, I know.
Usually we're at this for like 6 hours.
We're not usually at it. We're usually at it for like 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah, and we're only at it for 2.
The last one was just because, Technicolor Heart is
we
long.
We need to do another Technicolor Heart stream.
We do. I'm gonna put us on the other screen.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna quit out of here.
Well, fuck.
Yeah.
Shania did a good job writing.
Yeah, the voice acting of this was really good. I'm really happy with how everyone did. So the person that voices Petrus, Bryce, actually did Vicare as well. If you come into the volume from the Salvation ending of Volume 12, Vicare is there instead of Zebedee. So there's a whole bunch of dialogue with him specifically. Like, Zebedee doesn't show up at all. It's just Vicare.
And we'll see that when we do the other half of our 16-hour Salvation
playthrough. We'll see that
playthrough.
when we do the other half of the Salvation playthrough, which is going to be long because we ended on Volume 7
we finished Volume 7.
We finished Volume 7.
So we're going to do Volumes 8 through 14.
Through 14, yeah.
And that includes Volume 12, which is so big.
Volume 12 itself is long. We'll do the short way through Technicolor Heart. Yeah, Bryce did a really good job on the voicing.
So, at my Friends from Broadway stuck, is this your first time experiencing Friendsim 2?
Also, Kira did a really good job.
Oh yeah, Kira did a great job.
With Triza. So, for those who are not familiar with Kira Buckland's history with the fandom,
she's a Vriska.
She's a Vriska, yeah. So Kira Buckland is a Homestuck fan from like the back in the day, like way before I started in the fandom, and she did Vriska's voice. And my friend, or our friend Crow, and I, we were watching a movie together, and Kira was doing a voice in that, and they made some comment about like, oh, Kira did Vriska back in the day, and I was like, I should like contact her and see if she'd be willing to do a voice for the game, and I figured that this was probably the most appropriate for her style of voice. Also,
she's the reason why Casey became a Homestuck.
That's
roommates.
That's true. That
is
true. Yeah, Casey was started in Homestuck fandom like a couple years ago, like 3 or 4 years ago.
Like, we nabbed Casey for Tagiri right after they became a Carcat.
And Triza, you'll see, there'll be more Triza in Volume 14 as well. I'll spoil that, quote unquote. She's in there.
Yeah, oh my god, I can't believe we're almost done.
Yeah.
We're almost done with this fucking game.
Yep.
It has been...
just the big... Volume 14 is a little longer than this one. It's not one of the longest volumes, but it's got a little more meat to it. Plus, it's got a lot of, like... I think I've mentioned this before, but, like, the game has, like, Fallout-style end cards. So, like, all the different choices you make through the game, you get, like, unique art and, like, it's a little bit of narrative text. So, like, there's a lot of ending content after we get through with Volume 14.
I really hope people cry.
So
I think people will cry.
Like, there's a lot of stuff, like, all the choices you made. And our playthrough is pretty straightforward. It's a straight up, we're just doing the Revolution choices. Like, there are some nuanced choices that you can get. Some like, very kind of obscure choices that affect the outcome at the ending.
Mm-hmm. Like if you do opposite choices for volumes 2 and 6.
Yeah, that one is like, I don't know how many people will see that, but like, it's there. It's there.
If you want to suffer.
It is, yeah. And like all the nuanced choices with like whether or not you let Ardata live, which we did not save her in our playthrough. can't remember if we saved her in the Salvation one. I think we did.
Yeah, so we could have the different
Yeah.
experience.
So yeah, there's a few different things going on there. But yeah, this one is a little shorter, a little more straightforward, especially after Volume 12, which turned out to be way bigger than we had originally expected it to
Volume
be.
12 was huge.
Yeah.
Especially because you were like, I'm going to make a whole extra game
Yeah.
to stick inside
Yeah.
because I'm crazy.
Volume 12 is another one where like stuff got changed around a bunch. The mini games got actually not just the dream sequence stuff got cut, but the mini games for the final like at the end of each route you play a mini game to like do the stuff with Glib Glib. And originally there were two different mini games you could play. There was like a tile mini game and there was like some other like light the fire. It was one of those like light up the lights puzzles.
The Firefly?
No, not fire fling. It wasn't that. It was like you have to click on them in the certain order to light all the fires. And neither of those like very traditional adventure game puzzle games, not fun, not particularly fun to play. Like tile sliding mini games, not actually very fun to play. You could still do the tile sliding mini game in wait, no, I got rid of it I got rid of it completely.
Cuz it
you used to be able to do it in the like the
in Malik's
the
arcade?
fixing the computer thing. It was Malik's. Did I keep that for Malik's as an option?
I don't remember.
I think I did. I think I kept it as like an optional thing. But you can also do Tetris. Or maybe I just replaced it with Tetris. I think I might have just replaced it.
You are a frequent remaker of Tetris.
Yeah, I love Tetris. So yeah, it's tile sliding puzzles. Yeah, tile sliding puzzles kind of suck. So it was replaced with Tetris in one path and a mini game that I made up in the other path, which is basically like a little arcade game. Both of which are a lot more fun than a tile puzzle or a fucking light up the lights puzzle. And you can practice them in technical or hard by doing the Malik thing. That was the point of that, was to give you a way to practice the final game. So yeah, a lot more fun than it would have been. But yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed this. I had fun writing it. It's been a minute since I've written it.
Yeah.
This one was done a couple of years ago, but like, you know, art takes time and all that. So, and all yeah, the game is basically almost done. We're just waiting on a couple of assets.
Yeah.
Putting everything together for the final volume.
Couple more voices for the end sequence.
Yeah, like literally like
2.
a grand total of like 20 lines of dialogue. I'm really bad at Tetris.
Mm-hmm.
It's the version that it comes through in the game. Well, one, it's affected by the difficulty level, so you can turn the difficulty down. And 2, it's not a very hard. It's like clear 3 levels or clear a certain number of lines. The hard one is doing the Malik challenge, where you have to get through level 10. The big challenge to it is time, because the physical time that the day lasts is like just enough for you to do that. So you have to kind of like go quick.
Tetris speed.
Yeah, like if you
and
play,
waste the whole day doing it.
It
too.
wastes an entire day basically.
Which means you don't get to do other things like the murder mystery.
I mean, the murder
or
mystery.
buying tube cats for your friends.
The murder mystery takes up like that drags you off in its own thing.
Next time we play Technicolor Heart, we have to give everybody a tube cat.
I think Malik doesn't like the tube cats.
Right,
because he's afraid of cats in Technicolor Heart.
I want to see his reaction if he gets given a tube
There's
cat.
a generic like bad reaction. Every character has 3 reactions to GIF. There's like a negative reaction, a very positive reaction, and a neutral reaction.
And Chixie really likes the tube cat, right?
Chixie likes the tube cats, yeah.
Skyla likes the tube cat.
Yes.
Because she's the cat cafe
She's
owner.
the cat cafe person.
By the way, a tube cat is it's a plush that we have. It's a cat that's shaped like a tube.
Yeah,
it's our favorite thing.
It's a stuffed animal that for some reason we ended up putting a lot of in Volume 12 specifically.
Yeah, Garden of Tube
Garden
Cat
of Tube Cat
Deluxe. It's whack-a-mole.
I'm sure that Garden of Banban reference will be something anyone knows what the fuck it's referring to. And more than a year from now.
Oh my god.
Fucking mascot horror games.
Mascot horror game, but it's with Tube Cat.
I still think that would be funny.
It's gonna get you. It's gonna eat your guts.
It gotta be like the Tube Cat makes like some cute noise, but it like blows out your speakers loud, like it does like the. Oh my god. So yeah, I think we're gonna probably call it.
Yeah.
Go.
Well, there's not many people still hanging around.
Yeah, it's been a couple hours. It was a nice little shorter stream. Give us a chance to go do something else.
Yeah. Got laundry to do.
Yeah, laundry to do. That's right.
Well, thank you all so much for watching. It's been a while since we've streamed. It's been a while since I've done anything on my channel, and I want to apologize to any channel regulars for me not posting anything. Life is hard.
Yeah.
Making money is hard.
Oh my god, yeah.
I'm tired all the time because I have so many students and such long teaching days and music to write, and I'm so tired, and sometimes I'm too tired to do comic dubs, and I've been too tired to do comic dubs like all year long.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Thank you for bearing with me for not creating a ton of content. If you would like to see some content that I am creating, go over to my Patreon. It's totally free to listen to the first 3 episodes of our TTRPG podcast, Rough Cuts. And if you want some other content that I'm currently working on, check out Persuasion. The first 6 songs of a new musical I'm writing are available on my collaborator's YouTube channel. Just search JaneCon Persuasion 2024. You'll find the panel. There's a whole talk about my musical and everything. And also, should we mention Herc's game? Or is that
No, that's not. Yeah, so there's a game that actually both of us are working on.
I'm writing the soundtrack. Janai's doing the
I'm gonna
doing the dev work.
I'm gonna find the it's Gloire
et
Pot-au-Feu.
Pot-au-Feu.
It's a French game. I'm gonna drop the link to the Twitter. It's like a visual novel with like kind of like it follows like a sweet potato goblin. Like it's like
all the
food
characters
creatures
are vegetables.
Yeah, and there's like a fucking like cooking mini game and stuff in it. There's gonna be a demo out relatively soon. I'm working on that. We're not done with it yet, but like there should be a demo coming out hopefully by the end of the year. I don't know. That's gonna depend on a couple of different things, but like it's a fun little game.
The music is based on Middle Eastern tonalities and major minor scales and Phrygian, all sorts of fun non-Western sounds.
It's got a cool little like hand-drawn art style with watercolor style backgrounds. It's got it's gonna eventually have a bunch of little mini games. So if you like that kind of like break up the pace stuff, there's gonna be a few different ones in this. And it's got some really, really nice art, and yeah, it's gonna be it's a fun little game. Demo hopefully soon, and then the final one coming out, I don't know, sometime next year probably. So yeah, check that out. We're both working on it. It's not a game that either of us is writing or like directing, but we're both doing a lot of stuff for it. So
and
yeah.
when it comes out, we will certainly stream it.
Yeah, we will. So yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah. Is there anything else we're working on that is something cool to... I mean... everybody watching probably already knows about this because everybody watching is from Broadway Stuck, but come to Prom Stuck next summer and see us perform.
Baby. That's gonna be cool. I'm gonna be there too, doing nothing.
Maybe not nothing.
Oh, okay, doing no work. Yes, it is over.
Yeah, it was a short stream.
This was a relatively short volume. Sorry about that.
Sorry. You can go back and rewatch.
You can definitely rewatch. I don't know. What do I have going on? I'm mostly just working lately.
Yeah, you're doing a lot of work.
And writing a little
24th
bit of
Problem?
24th Problem is a fanfic that is on my AO3, which is I'm on everything. I'm Janiyah Riley on everything. I have been on Blue Sky more lately.
Yeah, everybody, drop your Blue Sky in the.
So
we have to change this to change it to my Blue Sky.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Because fuck Twitter, or we could add the Blue Sky.
My Twitter is the same as my Blue Sky, is the same as my AO3, is the same as my Tumblr, is the same as pretty much everything.
Mine is not, because both Twitter and Blue Sky did not have enough characters to allow articulately composed.
Haha. I have Friendsim 2 is at friendsim2.com on Blue Sky. Actually, we have the custom domain thing. So yeah, go follow us over there if you're on Blue Sky. It's
Mine is, I think, just at AC Music, not.
I have mostly been using that now.
Yeah, it's at acmusic.bluesky.social.
Because Twitter is a rancid shithole, and unfortunately, there's Friendsim 2 just cross posts on all our social medias. Yeah. We don't have one that we have as like the one true social media, and I mostly have been posting stuff on Blue Sky. So.
I just spend most of my time on Tumblr. Follow my Tumblr to see me reblog literally whatever the fuck I want. Because I don't really use it as a promotional social media. I just do whatever the fuck I want because I hate social media. I fucking hate social media. I don't like advertising things. I don't like promoting myself and having a brand, even though I have like a logo and stuff.
You should become a professional influencer. You should exploit other people for content.
Okay, we have to adopt a child so we can exploit it for content.
I saw a thread on I think it was actually on Twitter about the it was on Blue Sky. It was the influencer mommies, and they're like incredibly self-centered costumes where they're always like the princess.
Yeah.
And then they have the kids like dressed up in matching thematic costumes.
You got the mom as Belle, and then the kids as fucking Lumiere and Cosworth.
Yes, that, but also the one that I think is the worst is the mom is Cruella de Vil and the children are all the Dalmatians.
Oh my god!
And like, it's not even just like babies. It's like kids that are old enough that they should be able to have a say in their costume. Like, I get it when it's like a baby. Like, what the fuck? The baby doesn't know what the hell is going on.
If you have like really little kids, that's when you do. If we have a really little baby, that's when we do Rosemary with Baby Vriska.
There was one Instagram or whatever influencer mom that they all dressed up like her. Like, they dressed up her as her like influencer outfit.
What the fuck?
It was so bad, and it was all beige. It was all beige.
It was all beige. I saw something talking about the beige moms and all that, and apparently babies have really bad like vision when it comes to like seeing things specifically. So they need colors to be able to see things. So you got these babies surrounded by beige and they can't fucking see anything because they're babies. And it's like, oh my god, you're torturing these kids by surrounding them with beige.
Oh, beige.
People who paint their fucking kids' toys because they don't match their aesthetic.
Oh.
Mommy, I want to be a vampire. No, you have to match my aesthetic.
Yeah, basically that. It's like, oh my god.
There was a post I saw where it was some fucking beige mom complaining about, she was like, oh, I want to do matching outfits with my kid, but everything is like colorful with polka dots. Nothing has beige. It's like, this sounds like a parody.
That's so bizarre. I don't understand it. Whatever. Let's go and do something else.
I promise you, I will never be a beige mom. I might be a black and gray mom.
What if I become a beige mom? What are you gonna do then?
Divorce you.
Okay, that's a pretty good answer. No, I don't like beige. I don't wear beige.
Beige is an awful color. It is an awful fucking color. I don't wear a ton of bright... If you want to match with your kids, you're going to look like a clown. Embrace exactly. If you want to do something cute with your kids, you gotta be silly about it.
Yeah, I don't know. The whole matching outfits thing
It's kind of stupid anyway.
Weirds me out to begin with. Alright, we're gonna go, yes?
Yeah.
We're gonna go do chores and chill and, yeah.
Enjoy myself before my 10-hour teaching shift tomorrow.
Yeah, you get a long day tomorrow.
Oh my god, I'm gonna die.
That's why we're streaming so early.
Yeah, because as much as I love staying up streaming super late,
Yeah, you gotta do work, and I gotta go to the grocery store tomorrow morning. So
yeah, you gotta go to Wegmans and get me some tofu.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna get me tofu?
Yes, I'll get you tofu.
You gonna get me soup too?
Yes.
Yay!
I'm gonna put it on my list so I don't forget about it.
You gonna get me some pumpkin roll?
Sure.
If they still have it?
Yeah, I can
Yay!
get you that. Where's my phone anyway?
I don't know. But, alright, should we call it a day?
Yeah, I think we should call it a day. Alright.
Thank you all so much for watching. I hope that we can stream again before our next Friendsim 2 release.
Yeah.
We should do a Technicolor Heart stream. We haven't done a gay fanfiction hour in a while.
We should do that.
We should do a gay fanfiction
We're
hour.
into the lineage, right?
Yes, yeah, we got to the lineage.
Yeah. So we could read some more of that at some point.
We gotta do a gay fanfiction hour. We gotta play your Moirail game.
Yeah, the Dirk Roxy Moirail game.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fun. I like that. I did a lot of work on the little mini game in that. It's a fun time. Speaking of mini games.
Also, wasn't there another fanfic you wrote that we should stream? Oh, right, that other Progeny one that was part of the that zine, that holiday zine, where they get Tameen Lash drunk off her ass.
I thought we read that already.
Did we read that on stream?
I think we might have.
Oh, maybe we did.
I don't know. I wrote that a while ago.
You wrote that a while ago, but then you didn't post it for like a year afterwards.
I didn't. There's one that I still haven't posted is the yard site for Jaspers. That was a zine piece that I still haven't put it on AO3.
Oh,
I should do that at some point.
Gotta love
like that
making
story.
Rose Jewish, or continuing to make her Jewish.
Yeah, and also like sad.
Yeah. I mean, she's already going to be sad. It's kind of part of her thing.
All right. Well, bye y'all.
Thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you all next time.